We spent 12 nights on P&O Aurora discovering her decks and exploring each venue. Come along with us now as we take you on a tour of the ship, giving you tips and letting you know what we really think of her. Stay around until the end to discover if we would sail on her again and find out about a very special bird that lives on deck 5. Right, let's start at the top on deck 13 in a beautiful bar, the Crow's Nest, which is situated at the front of the ship. There is plenty of comfortable seating in this spacious venue. There are excellent views to be seen out of the large glass windows. And as you can see, it gets very popular and sometimes we struggle to get a seat in here. There is live music on offer. Think piano, drums, saxophone, that sort of vibe. Our tip is to get here early as you can, about 10 minutes before any advertised music so you can get a seat. Otherwise, you may struggle. The library is situated next door and has a decent selection of fiction and non-fiction books. It's open 24 hours a day, so if you fancy doing something at 4 AM in the morning, this is the place to hang out. We found a few titles we enjoyed. There are some computers in here. Does anyone use the computers on a ship in the library? I did also feel like I'd been transported back to the 1990s, as there was a selection of DVDs in here, but there are no DVD players in the cabin. As there is no streaming service on the TVs in your cabins, perhaps you are able to borrow a DVD player to watch them. If anyone knows, please let us know in the comment section. The Uganda room holds a few meetings and hosted some of the craft activities. If you fancy a quiet place to sit with some nice views, grab a drink next door in the Crow's Nest and bring it through. Now to the Sundeck. It has plenty of room to wander about. It's spacious with lots of seating and places to sunbathe. I never saw any evidence of anyone unable to find a place to sit or sunbathe on this ship. It's by far the best ship I've sailed on for outdoor space. We were sailing at full capacity, but there was plenty of room. There's a table tennis, sports court and games area on this deck. We had every intention of playing, but never got round to it. The Riviera bar overlooks the Riviera pool. This is a small outdoor area and was popular, but you were still able to get seats around here at most times in the day. The pool, whirlpool and shower were all open and working whilst we were on board. The pool was cool, but after a few strokes it felt lovely. The Lido Grill offers the usual poolside snacks throughout the day. The Oasis Spa was an inviting space and some people we spoke to said they had good treatments in here. We never used the facilities, but my tip would be, if you are interested, walk past here each day as they seem to be offering daily offers that the staff gave out on flyers. There were some classes held here each day. I'll pop a selection on the screen for you. The Crystal Bar and pool are situated here, and this was probably the busiest pool area on our trip as it is next to the Horizon Buffet and Lido Grill. I enjoyed the hot tub here, and even though it was busy, we always managed to get a seat at various points throughout the day. I even had the hot tub to myself sometimes. Early mornings and early evenings were very quiet. The Horizon Restaurant is next door and is the buffet restaurant. The food station area is small and would benefit, in my opinion, from being slightly larger. However, the seating areas are superb. This is by far the best seating area of a buffet I have seen on any trip. Spacious with fabulous views. Check out our food review for a full look and our thoughts. The Beach House Specialty Restaurant is connected to the Horizon Buffet. The Pennant Bar is at the back of the Horizon Restaurant and a great place to sit if you can't get a space in the buffet and the weather is good. We chose to sit out here in the fresh air and eat breakfast a couple of times. A tip: on embarkation day, when the buffet is at its busiest, sit in this area. Bar staff were very attentive and we got served immediately as we ate our lunch. On to deck 11 and the gym. We found it difficult to find the gym initially as it is on a deck full of cabins. It is small, but it has all the equipment you need. There are lots of classes you can take part in. See our Sea Day vlog for more information. Decks 10 and 9 are cabins. Boring. Let's move down to deck 8. So, to our favourite place to sit outdoors, the terrace bar and pool area. We loved it here and spent mornings, afternoons, evenings and night times hanging around just taking in the stunning scenery. There are loads of seating options in sun and shade. We got chairs easily at all times of the day. The pool was at a good temperature and the hot tubs were wonderful. Service at the bars was friendly and efficient. Another tip. On our sailing, sometimes during the day there were some cocktails at a reduced price from here. The tiered decking is a wonderful feature that we loved, and it was easy to get to the buffet restaurant by just using the stairs outdoors on this area. Now indoors to the Glass House, a specialty restaurant that we will tell you more about in our food review vlog. It's a comfortable place for a pre-dinner glass of wine with comfortable seating and fabulous staff. The photo gallery seemed very popular. We didn't use any of its services, but the staff were never pushy and never tried to sell us any photo packages. Some of the craft activities were held in this area too. The Playhouse is a cute little cinema showing up to 3 different films a day at various times, depending if you are at sea or in port. The films were different each day of our 12-day cruise. We had every intention of seeing one, but never got a chance. Vanderbilt is next door, and if board games, jigsaws or a game of cards is your thing, this is your dedicated area. The chairs were comfy and the tables were a good height. It was very quiet during our sailing. There was a small selection of games in the library you could borrow and play in here if you wanted. If you want a quiet place to relax in, this is a great venue for you. Raffles was another favourite venue of ours. Plenty of seating, but one of the busiest venues during the day. But it was quite quiet of an evening. It's a great place during the day to people watch as it overlooks the atrium. The staff were once again excellent in here. Our tip here is get your specialty coffee and have a free cake or pastry with it. They serve Costa coffees here and the iced latte was a favourite of ours. They are super. Cindu was round the corner, a little tucked away, another specialty restaurant, so check out our food vlog for more details. If you are lucky enough to be sailing in a suite, this is where you have your breakfast. Down to deck 7 and we visit Carmen's. This is a large bar with comfortable and plentiful seating. It hosts a multitude of events, but you can normally always get a seat in here. We got served quickly and we found the staff in this venue super friendly. Champions feels like a bit of a local pub. This was one of the most popular venues on our cruise. Lots of quizzes, sport on the TV and a bit of live music. Getting a seat in here was tricky at times. If you want to watch or take part in something here, you really do need to get here about 10 to 15 minutes before it starts. The art gallery is small, but has an ever-changing collection that we enjoyed looking at. The art gallery manager gave some great talks on art and various artists. We even got the occasional free glass of bubbly here. If you enjoy art, introduce yourself to the manager of the gallery for some special invites during your cruise. The casino was small but had machines and gaming tables. It was used but never packed during our cruise. Masquerade has a nightclub vibe to it. It held a variety of entertainment such as karaoke and silent disco. Bar service in here was good and seating was plentiful. There was a variety of shops over deck 6 and 7, and I have to say, for a small ship, I thought the shops were excellent. There was a large range of items on sale. Most days there was some sort of promotion on various products and they were always busy. We quite enjoyed a browse, but we didn't buy anything. Charlie's is a small area outside Anderson's bar. At various times during the day and evening you can listen to some piano music. It's a great place to sit and people watch, and at times was very quiet. Anderson's is the gin bar on P&O. This is one of our favourite places as it is decorated elegantly and the seating is very comfortable. It was never busy or packed and we always got a really good seat. The Curzon Theatre had plenty of seating and we always managed to get a really good seat whatever time we rocked up at. You don't need to book any shows, just turn up. There is accessible seating at the rear of the theatre. The shows were of a good standard, and on our 12-day cruise there were quite a few guest acts as well as the headlines theatre company shows. Aurora has a wonderful wraparound promenade deck that we spent a lot of time on. The smoking areas are located here. We loved this area. There was plenty of seating and we never once struggled to get a seat while sailing at full capacity. This was one of our favourite things about Aurora. It never felt overcrowded like some of the newer ships. There is so much open space on this ship. If you are someone who needs a little bit of solitude, Aurora has you covered. Deck 6 has more shops selling alcohol and perfumes. Explorers is the place to book your trips if you haven't pre-booked or ask about the ports of call on your sailing. The Medina Restaurant is located on this deck and this is for Freedom Dining passengers. We also had our breakfast and lunch here. The Alexandra Restaurant is at the aft of Deck 6 and the place for diners on fixed dining option. This restaurant only opened of an evening on our sailing. We start on Deck 5 at the bottom of the beautiful atrium, which is small but very elegant. The Loyalty and Future Cruise Desk is here. It was always busy with people queuing up to be served, and we spoke to a couple who had booked a future cruise on Aurora and were very pleased with the deal they had got. The reception staff were friendly, efficient and knowledgeable. We had to get a couple of replacement key cards during our cruise and we had no issue with this. We also had an issue with our door that was fixed immediately. This was one of the only ships I've ever been on where we never seemed to see a queue at reception. Probably because everyone seemed to be having such a great time. Now, that special bird I was telling you about earlier? Well, this is the home of the golden cockerel, apparently. It's all about how quick you go. How many of you knew that he was on board? There are deck plans throughout the ship to help you navigate your way around. There are 3 laundrettes on decks 11, 9 and 5. The quietest was on deck 5. It was much quieter in the afternoon, with many of the machines free from about 2 p.m. onwards. If you bring your own washing pods or tablets, the machines and tumble dryers are free to use. There are 3 groups of lifts at the front, mid and aft. We never had any issues with lifts not working or queues for lifts. In conclusion, would I sail on Aurora again? That's a definite yes. I loved Aurora's open decks. I could sit where I wanted, when I wanted, without feeling crowded. Her public areas are well maintained, elegant and stylish, again with plenty of space. As a smaller ship, she can get into smaller ports, and when you arrive at a port, you are disembarking with under 2,000 passengers, as opposed to some of the large mega ships holding thousands more. She may be old, but she's intimate, friendly, and I love her. As Arnie said, I'll be back.